How are you there? Glory be to Jehovah. It seems like most of the prophecies that we have been saying on this channel for the past 3 years are coming to pass slowly but surely. We opened up this debate 2 or 3 years back with a video in which I was saying, warning ZANU-PF that the Lord is saying that there's going to be factional fights in ZANU-PF. You're going to see two snakes fighting. It is clear now what the two snakes represent. The two camps in ZANU-PF fractured. We are seeing a fractured ZANU-PF which is no longer fighting in the shadows but is bringing their fight out in the public. And we are also getting to know the issues at play. But of course, it is all part of God's plan to punish the punishers, to judge the judges, to lead us at a place we will be free from ZANU-PF. And we also have prophesied before that ZANU-PF will indeed get out of power, but it will get out kicking and screaming. They will get out of power, but they will not be wanting it, they won't be desiring it, but they will be forced by a powerful hand, a more formidable than the hand that they're currently holding. They might be having more authority and power over the weak ones, but there is a glorious power that is forming around them that will be able to dismantle and undo the 44 years of economic mismanagement. Iti Mnangagwa has to go. We prophesied 2 days ago about the dark things that are done in the darkness that are not known. Today in the morning, I woke up to Kambako Media reporting that at the president's office, Sean Mnangagwa, the son of the president, and people who work at the State House are going around the country extorting from businesses protection fee. Now, the president's office is the highest order for protecting, or the highest office to protect all 16 million Zimbabweans, both at home and even abroad. The protection fee that all Zimbabweans pay is called taxation, whether it's sales tax or it's corporate tax. That is enough protection fee for government to ensure protection of its citizens using the police force, the military, the prison service, and other related law enforcement agencies. What Mnangagwa doing, one of the people that are eyeing that presidential post, is running a side business of extorting from people by abusing the power and authority of the office of the president. It is clear to me that Iti Mnangagwa should have known about this, for his son cannot run this criminal enterprise across the country and the father not knowing. It is believed that there's many business people, miners, local and foreigners, who pay these protection fees to Emerson Mnangagwa's children over and over again. Our business environment is under siege. You can no longer make business in Zimbabwe without having to pay protection fee to Iti Mnangagwa's children. That, my friends, is a failed state. We can no longer keep quiet when things like that go like this. That is why I am urging the Zimbabwe military to step in. It is the job of the military general, Varalio Sebanda, and no one else, to ensure that there is order in the country. The president's job was to maintain, or should be to maintain, that kind of order. But now if disorder is found in his own office, then that is a special case where the military general does not need the consent of the president. I, Kobani Zondo, give you a go-ahead. Who I am a citizen. I've got the full authority and full rights to demand order in my country and to demand justice. and to demand that my president does his job right. And if now criminal activities are validated by the presidential office, therefore the presidential office itself becomes a crime scene. Therefore, all institutions under the president are no longer able to, to incriminate him because he has already filtered all of those institutions with his criminal syndicate that is going around the country extorting from our business people and even potential foreign investors. I hear the Chinese also are at the mercy of Itim Mnangagwa and his son. Itim Mnangagwa just went to China with his sons there. I wonder if the Chinese Communist Party and Xi Jinping support that Chinese businessmen, proper Chinese business people, who come and do mining in Zimbabwe or any other business in Zimbabwe. I wonder what CCP thinks if these Chinese citizens who vote in China are abused by Itim Mnangagwa and his children. Is it part of the Look East policy that Itim Mnangagwa must support China and China must send Chinese investors who will be abused in the country? Listen, we may disagree geopolitically with some positions that China is taking concerning some global wars and geopolitical position of some sort, but that does not mean that Chinese people in Zimbabwe should be discriminated. We might have a problem with Chinese firms breaking environmental laws, disrespecting labor laws, and some of them even having arrangements with ZANU-PF whereby they do not even have to pay our taxes. But that doesn't mean that legitimate Chinese businesses should be undermined and be extorted by the president and his children. It is important that it is important also for the Chinese military to ensure the safety of Chinese people around the world. It's amazing that Mnangagwa dares to touch foreigners from highly powerful countries, more powerful than him. These Mnangagwa boys really are just like a dog not on a leash. It now therefore becomes clear that the only institution that the president cannot touch is the sacrosanct one. That sacrosanct position of the Army General, Valerio Sebat. You rarely hear me bring out his name because I'm not supposed to. But if I were to bring out his name, it means that he is the backup of last resort. Holy. Valerio Sebat is the backup of our sovereignty, our sovereign backup of last resort. Beyond him, there's no one else. If all things were equal and all things were right, we shouldn't even be getting there or bothering to even go there. But seeing that we are there now, it means we have crossed over Rubicon. We can no longer allow criminal activities to carry on in the country like this. President Itim Mnangagwa came out a few days ago as well and denounced corruption as if it is a script that was written for him, forced for him to say. Just a week after General Chiwenga also voiced out his concern on the rampant corruption in the country. If Itim Mnangagwa is sincere about fighting corruption, he will first start by arresting his children, removing that illegitimate child from the Zimbabwe from serving in the military and also in the presidential guard, and also the other two, putting them in prison first. Then we will see that Mnangagwa is serious about corruption. Failure with that, I give the consent to the Army General Valerio Seban to look those things in jail, because that's where they belong. And their father must go. He's no longer a president. there's nothing excellent about turning State House into an office that extorts business. State House is an august house where these businesses that are the engine of our economy should look unto for help, for assistance, for support, for industrial growth, job security, employment creation, amongst many other things. But if it is not enough that Idi Mnangagwa is turning the State House into a looting house, but he is also going further into a place where his children and people, I hear his security guards and his child now, who is supposed to be a head of the presidential guard of some sort. That's just crazy. That's not a country. When you get there, that's not a president. It is not a president. He's illegitimate. Never mind the rigged elections, but the actions of him and his children demonstrate that this man is not the caliber of man that should be lifted up to become the president of Zimbabwe. He is becoming an embarrassment in the whole region. He is helping the Mozambicans rig elections, helping Botswanans rig elections, and now Chihuahua won a tender in Namibia, of course, to help the Namibians to rig elections, close ties with Ramaphosa and who's anti-Israel. And I know for a fact by through my own eyes seeing our our platinum being transported from Zimbabwe in truckloads to South Africa, not reported in Zimbabwe but reported in South Africa. Our gold not reported in Zimbabwe but reported in South Africa. That is why the ANC will never want ZANU-PF to go out, because there is economic gain from having the oppressive regime in power in Harare. It's the Zimbabweans, when they run away, when they run from that regime and come to South Africa, the South African government and institutions severely oppress those Zimbabweans, forgetting that they are milking my country dry, at the same time oppressing my people in South Africa. On the day that the Lord arises from his seat in heaven and fixes our country, I will lead all Zimbabweans out of South Africa back to their country where they belong, where the Lord will create for them an atmosphere of economic growth, job creation, and I will put Zimbabweans first. And I will secure the border. And our people will eat and live in peace, away from the evil of Idi Mnangagwa's regime. SADC leadership has severely failed. Instead of coming to the Zimbabweans' help in upholding the institution and the institutions of, upholding our constitution and the institutions of the SADC region, they've instead begun to participate in the sinfulness of Idi Mnangagwa. We are aware that there are some elite SADC politicians being given mines in Zimbabwe, bribed essentially to support ET. And ET, the chairman of SADC, becoming sort of like a godfather, not just in Zimbabwe, but in the whole region. ET is becoming a strong man in the region and turning the region politics into one huge fraud. SADC has become one huge mafia thanks to Mnangagwa. That is why he's aligning himself with Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, because he knows that when he aligns himself with Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, the Ayatollah, and North Korea, there's no accountability. It is a group or a gang of gangsters, hardcore international mafias who do not care about their people. At least the Chinese cared their people to some sort. I can exclude Xi Jinping from this group of people, those who do not care. At least Xi Jinping cares about his own people. But North Korea, Putin, and the Ayatollah, Mnangagwa's friends, and Ramaphosa coming into the... I don't even know what Ramaphosa is doing in that crazy group. I don't even know what... what he entered, who bewitched the ANC to align themselves with those group. But we know that lawlessness and unaccountability erodes morality in these leaders. They've all become immoral. They're turning our people to become immoral as well. My overarching aim or message of this video is this. It is time for the defender of our for the defender of last resort of our sovereignty to act. The defender of last resort. I said the defender of last resort. We wouldn't seek him out if we had other options. But we have exhausted all avenues. We have exhausted all political and democratic and legal avenues to deal with the issue. Because our supreme leader is the problem. If the supreme leader is the problem, the president is the problem, then the defender of last resort must step in. I'm talking about the guy with the guns. The guy who can put the fear of God into the head and brain of that idiot Mnangagwa. That's what I'm talking about. The one who can make Mnangagwa pee. That's what I'm talking about. The one that can make that Collins, those crazy, myopic criminals, busy extorting money from people in the country because their father is a president and learning themselves have to take over our country. Really, is there anybody in ZANU-PF who has got a sound mind these days who think that ET 2030 is a good idea and his children, these that are extorting from everybody, I want to take over from the father? Is there anybody in ZANU-PF who's got a functional brain? Those provinces, those provincial people that are keep screaming 2030, 2030, do they have functioning brains? Valerio Shibanya must take a look at those brains. You must really examine these brains and you discover that there is nothing, there's just water. Because there's water, we don't listen to them. Do not listen to the ZANU-PF provinces. Do not listen to the Politburo. Do not listen to the presidential office because the president's office is a looting house. The president must go. I said it. For the sake of the whole of SADC, Botswana was a nice country. One of the beloved countries in Africa that like most people say like, yo, in Africa where there's so much dictatorship and troubles, Botswana was doing fine. Mnangagwa is polluting the politics of Botswana. 10 years, 15, 20 years down the line, if Mnangagwa is allowed to do as it pleases, Botswana will be like Zimbabwe. South Africa is going down the drain thanks to the ANC. If it's not for the government of national unity with the DA in there, which is trying to knock some sense into the ANC, President Ramaphosa, Cyril Ramaphosa, will bring this country into darkness. It's clear, you can see the kind of friends, the kind of group that they are with: Iran, Russia, North Korea. What good do you think is going to come out of that group? People are excited that Zimbabwe must join BRICS. What good will come from there? Nothing. Our prophecies are coming to play. ZANU-PF is at war within itself. ZANU-PF will eventually lose this war. I rest my case.